Hey guys, I'm from One to Pass here. Today I'm just going to be doing my Musketeer deck profile. So it's actually a pretty good deck now post Legion. So yeah, just starting out with the starter. It's Boccolini Musketeer Kira. So it's the grade free searchers. So Counterblast 1, check top 5 for grade free, and then add to hand. So pretty much hit or miss. Main reason why you want to run her, especially for this deck, I'm only running 6 grade frees just because you want more space for grade 2s and grade 1s. And otherwise, you can just retire her with, like, say, Rebecca or Vera. So overall, just need it for consistency purposes. So next up, I run 4 copies of Lycoris Musketeer Vera. So Vera's the main card in his deck. So she's actually, is it a she or a he? I have no clue. So legions with Saul, and ability is when this unit legions, all your units with Musketeer gets plus 3k. So it's like a Zerachiel clone, except the thing is that your Vanguard becomes a 26k for the turn, which is pretty good. It can hit 11k's, forcing usually a perfect guard or a lot of guard if they want to block it. Yeah, it lets you hit like side columns for 21 plus, or if you have like an Augusto, it goes for over 26. So secondary ability is to choose one of your rear guards with Musketeer in its name and retire it, and then look at top 5, disappear, call another Musketeer. So this is pretty standard for all the Musketeer units. If you're not familiar with what they do, they retire one Musketeer and then you search top 4 or 5 depending on whether it's a Vanguard or a rear guard ability, and then superior, call another one. So in that way you just build a field consistency, and you with how this deck works, you can actually get a lot of advantage through another card that I'll show you guys later. It's called Sylvia, but yeah, I'll just go over that later. But overall, it's just great Legion. Has 2 really awesome abilities. You can keep relegioning with her, and every turn you can just keep retiring a unit and cycle out to, like, you can cycle out your ones to get more interceptors and just fix your field setup pretty much. Next up, I run 2 copies of Peony Musketeer Martina. So Martina legions with Ture, and her ability is to counterblast 1, choose 5 normal units with Musketeer in its name, put it at the bottom of your deck in any order, then search top 4 cards of your deck, superior, call 2 Musketeers from them, and you can only use it once per turn, otherwise you could infinitely use it and it'd be kind of broken. The reason why I run Martina in this deck, I would have ran Holly, but then I decided that since there's a lot of Perdition, Narukami, stuff that retires your cards, you want to be able to refill your deck rearguard circles quickly. So it's mainly a late game card to like refill after like if your field gets blown up, then she's good. Her second ability is when she attacks Vanguard, if you have another card in your middle column that gets plus 3k. So it's mainly a power boost to compensate for the fact that she doesn't have a second ability, so it's pretty fair. Like Vera has like 2 really good abilities, so she has 1 good ability and then just power boost to compensate. So yeah, I'm only running 6 grade frees just because, again, I mentioned previously that I want more space for grade 2s and grade 1s, and with the grade free searcher, like, it's actually okay. It's a bit risky though, so if you don't feel as ballsy as me, then you could just go run 7 grade frees, or I don't recommend 8. 8 gets really cloggy. So yeah, that's about it for grade frees. So next up, I run 4 copies of Augusto, so 12k attacker. You can make a 21k column with a card called Mirka, and also it works really well with stand triggers. So you need to run 4 of him. He's pretty much staple in all Musketeer decks. He's also really hard to find because he's like a double R, but a lot of people have them, so it's not that big of a problem. So next up, I run 2 of the Legion mate for Martina, so Peony Musketeer Ture. So if you're familiar with the old Musketeers, then it's basically a Kaivant clone, but it has a Legion restriction and no counterblast cost. So you choose another of your rearguards with Musketeer in its card name and retire when it's placed on rearguard, then search top 4 of your Vanguards in Legion and superior, call 1 Musketeer. So, same skill as Vera, not much explanation needed. It's mainly here as just Legion made for Martina, so I don't use it too much, but sometimes it's really nice when you manage to call it with, say, like Sylvia, Vera, all the other cards that superior call from the top. So, it's pretty cool card. Just only run 2 though, because you don't need too many. Next up, here's the card I was talking about previously, Musketeer Sylvia. So this card is basically a double summoner clone, but like a lot better. It's 7k base, but the effect makes up for the stats. So when this is placed on Vanguard Rearguard, reveal top, and then if it's Musketeer, then Superior call it. So you can get a free rearguard with this, and the thing is that the number for this doesn't matter too much because you're getting a second rearguard, and then you can retire Sylvia and then get a better rearguard. So overall, it's technically a 0 wash, but not really because you're +1 on the rearguard circle. So actually no, it's not even a 0 wash. It's just straight up +1 for 1 on the field. So yeah, you retire her later on, and then you can get like another interceptor. Like you go for Augusto, go for anything that hits for numbers really. But even then, like with the 9k booster in this deck, this can hit 16, so it's actually not that bad for number wise. And then finally, I run 4 copies of Like Horse's Musketeer Saul, so main Legion mate with Farah. This card's actually amazing. Like you choose 3 normal units with Musketeer in its name when it attacks, and during the turn it performs Legion, you can return 3 cards to bottom of the deck, draw a card. So it's good early if you get like enough cards in the drop zone after your Legion. So it encourages you to put triggers back in the deck, and then just put the normal units using this card back to the bottom. So it's really hard to deck out with Musketeers now. Also, another cool thing is that if you hit a stand trigger, you can use this ability again. There's no restriction that limits it to only being able to be used on once per turn. So if you have like a lot of cards in drop zone, like you can draw a lot of cards. But late game, getting to late game is really weird because like this deck, like with 4 copies of Vera, like you pressure really fast. So usually the game doesn't go on that long, but sometimes it happens. So it's fine though. And then that should be it for the grade 2s. Yep. So for Sentinels, I run 2 Perfect Guards, 2 Quintet Walls. Quintet Walls are pretty obvious for Legion purposes, but main reason why I run the Quint Walls is that you want to be able to mill more cards just to get off Saul's ability to return cards to the bottom of your deck to draw a card. So that's why I run 2 Quints, but otherwise, like I can consider running 3 PGs, 1 Quintet Wall, but I think the other way around, 3 Quintet Walls, 1 PG is not that good, because there's a lot of decks that hit really retardedly high numbers, and sometimes Quintet Walls like do screw you over, so I'd rather just run 2-2. It works a lot better, in my opinion. Next up, I run 4 copies of Lily of the Valley Musketeer Rebecca. So Rebecca's ability is the same as Ture's, except with her, it's just grade 1, so as 7k booster, it's pretty good stats, and you can use it any time, which is what I like. Like, if you, on your grade 2 ride, you can easily retire Kira, so you can get another rearguard column and then start pressuring your opponent with the extra unit. So yeah, Counterblast 1, when it's placed on Vanguard Rearguard, retire 1, search top 4, and Superior call 1, so nothing much to say about her skill. It's pretty standard within Musketeers. So. Then I run 3 copies of Dandelion Musketeer Mirka. So Mirka should have been a card that been released a long time ago in English format. Jap format had her in Fighters Collection 2013, but we didn't get her until Blazing Perdition, which technically, with Japanese release standards, that's like almost more than a year. So I was really salty because I didn't get her like during BT14, like, and then Musketeers would have been a lot better because her ability is that when she boosts, if your deck has been shuffled due to the effect of one of your cards, then this gets plus 3k. So you can shuffle really easily. You shuffle with Legion, you shuffle when you use any of the Musketeer Superior Call skill, you shuffle with Kira. You pretty much shuffle with any card in this deck once per turn, so she's almost always a 9k booster. Mind you, she can't hit for 9k herself, so don't expect that to be the case. Yeah, so she can hit for 21 with Augusto and hit for 16 with any of the 7ks, so overall it's pretty good. Yeah, might have cut off there for a bit, guys, so sorry about that. So anyways, yeah, I was just talking about Mirka, so she can make a 21k column with Augusto, make a 16s with any of the 7ks, so it's pretty good. Like, you can also hit some good numbers with the Vera turn, but I'm not going to go into that because that's too much calculation and I don't want to think too much about that. And then I run 2 copies of Enemies, Musketeer, Susanna. So Susanna's ability is Soul Blast 2 on flip 2, so unflipping damage is good in this deck. You use a bunch of Counter Blast for Starter, Martina, Quintet Walls, and Rebecca's. But even then, doesn't seem like that much, but the main good thing about her ability is you can Soul Blast cards. Like, you can Soul Blast Farah's and then Soul Blast all your Legion cards. So, one, you can get Legion back off easier. 2, you can re-Legion more, and if the game goes on for ridiculously long, then it's good. And the plus side is that you can call this, and because her stats are really poor, you can just retire her afterwards. But even regardless, she makes nice numbers with anything that can hit for 11 or 12k. But even on Legion turn, it becomes really irrelevant. So it's not that big of a deal. Like, even with Augusto, it can make 17, and then plus 6 is exactly 23. So it's good numbers overall. And finally, I just run 1 copy of Roof. Roof is just there in the deck. I couldn't find anything else to put in the deck. I mean, I could put extra grade free, but I don't feel like it. So yeah, Roof is just a 10k attacker, so she's not bad. She's not bad. Like, you can easily put her in the front row, like on grade 1, and then she'll scale into your grade 2. So yeah, you can get her off easily and then retire her afterwards, or you can make like a really nice scaling column that if stuff gets retired, you can just move her up to the front. She can hit for 13 when Vera Legions. So yeah, that's just 10k attacker. Then for triggers, I run 6 crits. So 4 of them are Musketeer ones, and then I have 2 non-Musketeer crits. So only downside is that if you do somehow get this guy with Sylvia, then it sucks. It's the only 2 cards that are non-Musketeer in the deck, so it's pretty troll. Once the new Musketeer crit comes out in Soaring Beauty, the GBT02, then I'll replace it, and I might even consider changing my trigger lineup. But for now, I think 6 crits is good. You need to pressure the deck. But however, I also run free stands. Ernst is like an amazing stand. You counter blast 1, put him in the bottom of the deck, search for 4, superior call. Like, so it doesn't retire itself, but it returns itself to the deck, so you get more stands off. Yeah, and then free draws. Draw triggers are good. You need a bit of hand advantage. Deck doesn't need too much draw power because you get a lot of pluses off the field, so you're not calling too much from the hand anyways. But I think it's necessary, and I don't want too many targets to like miss with Sylvia, because missing with Sylvia really sucks. It happens a bunch, and I don't really want to run 8 crit in this deck. The stand triggers are really good because all your cards can hit for like above 12. Like, unfortunately, you can't hit for 20. 21, like you can't push anything to 16 even with Farah, so it kind of sucks. And then finally 4 heals, because you need heals, because you could heal sack, and then like your opponent gets salty, and then they make bad decisions. Okay, so yeah, that's about it for the deck. Overall, I'd rate this deck like it's really fun to play. Like, I wouldn't say that it's amazing anymore just because of the release time that it came out. Like, it comes out in BT 17. Before it came out in BT 16, so it actually had a chance during that format. Now there's too much stuff that can retire your field, so... And Link Joker, like, screws you over so bad. I played against Blaster Joker, like, I got destroyed completely. So yeah, I do enjoy this deck though, so... Yeah, I'm gonna probably play it a bunch. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!